the rest, yes. There are few community radios at the institutions and all. But you see, you have the one community radio in schools, like the tertiary institutions. That's purely for learning and to educate them among the university community or tertiary community. What we are asking for is the original, what we call community radio, to be set up in communities. That up to this very moment as I speak, everything has been done by Nigerian Media, Nigerian Community Radio Coalition, for almost 11 to 12 years now. Tell me why Nigeria is the only country in the whole of West Africa that don't have a community radio.
Doesn't that have to do with the regulators, the authority?
No, it is not an NBC thing. It is the federal government's approach. The federal government has not given NBC the right to operate.
Because there are lots of people who are on the queue.
Yes.
To get that.
I am also going to operate, but I'm waiting for it.
But how has the NBC functioned in all of this?
What will the NBC do? What will the NBC do? I think I don't need to start work brief for NBC. NBC should be called upon to ask why have they refused up till now to license community radio. And this is that where we go in Ghana here, in South Africa, in Niger, community radios are the basis where you find that every community has its own community that educates them in their language. What does it say? About 80% of the broadcast is in the language of those people.
Is that what you mean by the media being able to educate the people out there?
Yes, to a certain extent, if you allow that to happen, the level will have been brought lower to the masses. Up till now, the fact is that how many Nigerians are really educated? We are just pontificating here, speaking grammar. How many Nigerians understand our languages, the world language we are speaking?
Well, it'll be amazing that there are lots of people who do, but how they access the media is a different kettle of fish entirely. But in terms of how the media cover the constitutional review, for instance,
as far as I'm concerned, we did not do as much as well.
Are you juxtaposing that against the editorials, the news features, the articles, the headlines?
Not enough. Not enough.
How do you mean not enough?
No, the position is that this was the thing that would have been massive. It was during that.
What did you expect?
I'm coming. It was during that period that it was coming up. Initially, when the review started, it became a daily affair. A week into it, it started fizzling out. 3 weeks, a month after it, you can hardly, it was just on media organizations that were mentioning, or now, I'm telling you, nobody hears about the media, whatever is being reviewed or whatever was reviewed.
Yeah, but that's also because something else has taken,
something else will always take.
What I mean is, that we also have a national dialogue now, which seems to be coming, taking the front burner, and the constitutional review seems to have been put on the back burner. So you have issues like this, and then let me even talk about how, we stay on stories. Do you think that our country is so dynamic that before you can even trash one story out, you have something else breaking which you just must face?
It's even in developed economy, it has happened. Before the September 11 bomb attack, there was an issue that dominates the U.S. media. That was the issue of an intent that was going out with one of the government officials. It dominated it. That was the issue. But then when the September 11 attack came, that of course threw that one, put that one in the back burner, and it does happen. So Nigeria's situation is not anything out of the ordinary. But what we are saying is that even when these issues do come up, we should go. For instance, how many radio stations, for our television stations, do what we call story programs with breadth and depth? Very few. Very, very few. It's not just you scratch on, you say you are doing a program, a 15 minutes program.
Yeah, well, all of them cannot do it because they are set up for different things. Shouldn't that also come into play?
No, that's what, if you are set up for different things, but if whatever you really have to handle, if you have to treat any issue, you treat it very well.
Yeah, I'm looking at those who were set up for it. So if we look at them, would you say that they did not do as much as they ought to?
That is the issue I'm repeating here, Chamberlain. Issues like the constitutional review, it is not a thing that we put at the front burner. We really have to go, because This
At the front burner or the back burner?
At the back burner, I mean to say. Well, whatever the outcome of that review, you don't review constitution yearly. No.
Okay. What was your expectation? How should they have done?
My expectation is that now media organizations should have taken this segment by segment, the review, and analyze it. You know what I'm saying now? Educate people on this is what was there before, and this is what is now being planned, or what is being reviewed. You break it down to the knowledge of the ordinary man, so that when they are going to make their input, the people might not be educated, but they have their six senses, and you will be surprised the kind of approach, what the contribution they could make. But the truth is that we just treated it on the surface, and that is not enough as far as I am concerned.
What will you be hoping to see? Let's go back again to the Constitution review. We had a situation where we were told by members of the National Assembly that they were going to go to their different constituencies and they were going to have town hall meetings asking their people what they decided, or these are the issues and what they want, and then putting all of that and taking it back to the National Assembly. Now, we found a situation where they did what they did it as they said they were going to do. The media was there covering it, and then we saw them return through a ceremony, a very elaborate ceremony, them dropping their files and their brown envelopes, not that type, but huge files, and then at the end of the day, we also got retorts from other people saying, saying, no, that was not what we agreed, or no, that was not what we said.
My dear,
we're saying such disparity.
The truth is this: people who said they were going to their constituency, yes, journalists were there. Was it the journalists they carried from Abuja? You know what I'm saying now? The journalists that went to cover it, the journalists that they took the senators and they paid their transfer fare and gave accommodation that went to cover it. And how far do you expect that those were journalists would make that report? I mean, why is that in that community? Are you saying that a place like my own village, I'm from Iwu, a very remote area in Edo State, are you now saying that there are no reporters in Benin that will go on their own to cover an assignment, a national assignment in my village? See, the people who left Abuja went in with the reporters that they carried from Abuja, and you expect them to come and the reporters will report fairly? I don't think that is correct. That is right.
You see, you've painted a picture here of gloom in the media, Nigerian media. But let's look at the issue of welfare of these journalists. How do you expect, you asked the question, how do you expect them to be fair if they're not taken care of, if they're not paid, their salaries as and where due? I happened to I was talking to a journalist a couple of days ago who's not been paid for like 3 months.
Correct. The position is this: if you cannot run a media organization, see, most of the people who set up these media organizations, they are businessmen. You know what I'm saying now? They are using that media organization to leverage their own business. I remember when I was in one of the major newspapers where I worked there, I was the chairman of the NUJ chapel in that organization then. It was a privately owned organization, and the chairman, we all know very well, was very arrogant about this thing. If you know you cannot work here, you cannot take the conditions here, you go. He got to a point one day I had to tell him, I said, my friend, nobody knows your family. It was this organization that made your family whatever it turned out to be. I confronted him. People were shouting, my editor, he has abused the chairman and all the rest. This was chairman who wanted to push what was wrong down, and I said, no, we're not going to accept it. Finally, they called me aside and said they were promoting me. I said, I was not going to do this kind of promotion. So, the truth is this: the people who we are talking about welfare, if you are working in a place you are not being paid, I mean, what is your excess? There's the Yoruba adage which says that if you work with a rich man and you are hungry, If you leave him, you will not die of hunger. So what are you doing there? You go away. So what about this welfare thing? I'm telling you that some of them are the people encouraging it. If I work for you and you're not paying me, no, I mean, I'll quietly pack this thing, and if everybody goes, that organization will not run. The leverage that the man owns the organization and the business they have been doing, it cannot continue. So the truth is this, I mean, I think some of us journalists are responsible for what we get.
In terms of the media performance in the advancement of the frontiers of democracy,
yes,
how would you say they've carried out that responsibility?
Well, we have tried. We've tried in terms of advancement of it. We've been able to sustain it. And now, from the way things are now, we all know that no military man will come up and say, fellow Nigerian one day, no, it's no longer going to happen in this country.
Are you saying that for sure?
Yes, the Nigerian media, let me give you an example. You see, there's so much that we are not doing. I am going to use the Ogun State government, Bisi Onabanjo's government, because that was a journalist who went into government. When Bisi Onabanjo was the governor of Ogun State, for the 4 years and some months that he was there before he was overthrown, Bisi Onabanjo's security vote was not more than 1.2 million. That was the security vote of Bisi Onabanjo. He made it clear that he did not need much money for security because he was 90% of the people voted in were his supporters. How many? I want us to give an example. The Rivers State government, for instance, and Rotimi Amaechi came on there and said that we are not stoning our leaders. Well, that's why they have the impunity of stealing our money. Have any media, by the media organization got up and said, okay, let us look at Rotimi Amaechi, the value of Rotimi Amaechi when he was the PA to Odili. Let's now look at the value of Rotimi Amaechi when he became the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Let's now look at the value of Rotimi Amaechi when he now became the governor of Rivers State. Now that Governor Amaechi, the 4 years that Governor Amaechi did not have problems with PDP and had 90% of the supporters, how much was his security vote? Now that he's having crisis, how much is now his security vote? We are not doing enough. We are not reporting. We just want the people to come and spoon feed us, and they say we are journalists carrying long files all over the place. No, I don't think we are doing enough.
In other words, even if they don't, even if they don't disclose their security,
yes, you look for it.
You should be able to.
Yes, you don't know how much they are spending. I am telling you now, this Onabanjo, if Shogari visited Onabanjo in Ogun State, I really, because that was a journalist in government. The time they visited the Ogun State, it was 200,000 naira that was the money spent for the presidential visit. How much people, Jonathan has visited some states. How much have you found out? How many journalists has gone to find out how much was expended on that kind of visit?
You were going to talk about, I mean, how is it that, what's the responsibility of the media with respect to someone not being able to come out and say fellow Nigerians? How does the media stave off that kind of scenario?
The truth is this. The position is that, yes, we are making mistakes. Look, let me be clear, try and put this thing into perspective. When the Buhari's administration overthrew the civilian regime of Shehu Shagari, they leveled all manner of what we call it allegations against them. I remember when Bisi Onabanjo was to be sentenced to 21 years imprisonment. After they passed the sentence, Bisi Onabanjo told them that, look, posterity and history will pass his own verdict. That annoyed the man. The man added 1 more year to Onabanjo's sentence. Finally, several years after, the people who overthrew Onabanjo went to open one of the hotels that Onabanjo has completed 90% completion. And the man now said, this place is elegant and all that, so let me be the first person to use this challenge. He went in and did a minor one. Flushed the toilet and rolled on the bed. Those were the military who said that civilians stole money and all that. They later on came and messed up the entire system. And that is the people we are prompting up again. How many people that are going for the presidential, they are seeking presidential office now, they are just in these two political parties, have we really gone to investigate? Have we scrutinized them? You hear what I'm saying now? We haven't. But But the fact is that in spite of these mistakes that we are making, if we had allowed Shagari's administration to continue, then by now we would have been a bit better than what we are now. So no Nigerian will allow any military man to come anymore. They are worse than Buccaneers, and we don't want them.
The question is, can we scrutinize?
We can scrutinize. We can scrutinize. A man like Buhari, who overthrew the civilian government and all the rest, put him on the scrutiny. I mean, what are his antecedents? He might not be corrupt, but does he have the mental ability to run a country like Nigeria? Those supporting him who are running all over the place, saying that how did they make their money?
So even though they might accuse you as being an opposition media, they must
tag you and give you names. But in the final analysis, is for the benefit of the country. And that's why you are a journalist.
Is there light at the end of this tunnel?
Of course, yeah, there's light. If we continue, we will fumble and get out of this. We will make all the mistakes. We are making mistakes and we are correcting them.
All right, Mr. Goodluck Jonathan, former director, Voice of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
We've got another perspective coming on shortly, so join us again if you can.